I'm Violet. Welcome back to Dream Talks. What would you give up for love, your comfort, your language, even your sense of home? Today's episode is a little special. I will be speaking in English, our second language, with my guest, who is also my colleague, Mika. Mika works as an SEO content specialist, and like many remote teams, we didn't meet in person at first. Our first face-to-face meeting was in Singapore at a conference. Yeah. Then a few months later, we met again at another conference, this time in Spain. What really stood out to me about Mika is her curiosity. She's always eager to learn something new, to explore and to grow, not just professionally, but personally too. I was really happy to get to know her a little when we met in Singapore. And that conversation stayed with me. That is when I know I wanted to invite her onto this series. And honestly, I was so glad when she said yes. Mika grew up in Korea imagining one kind of future for herself until love changed her geography and life asked her to begin again in the US. Today, I'm really curious to explore how she met the one, what it truly means to move across countries and start over, and whether working remotely feels different when you are living in a completely new country. We'll also talk about how to build a life that many would look free on the outside, but I believe it takes a lot of courage on the inside. Welcome, Mika. Hello, Mika.
Hello, nice to meet you. I'm Mika, and I'm really honored to just be here today.
So happy to have you today, Mika. Let us start from the very beginning. When you were living in Korea, right? Did you enjoy life there, or did you ever feel like lifestyle in Korea wasn't the right fit for you anymore? And it's so wide.
I was born and raised in a city, and I lived in cities my entire life.
Mm.
So, in many ways, that was very comfortable. Everything was close, transportation was efficient, and daily life felt convenient and familiar. But at the same time, living in Korea meant being surrounded by competition. Yeah, there was this unspoken pressure to compare myself to others, like career, income, lifestyle, like progress. I found myself stressed, measuring my life against someone else's timeline. And honestly, I didn't like the version of myself that came out of that environment.
So actually, you are comfortable, but you didn't really like this kind of environment because it's too like competitive for you.
Yeah.
All right. Before you moved to the US, right? While you were still in Korea, what kind of life did you imagine for yourself back then?
Before moving abroad, I imagined a life that felt more free, like a place with more opportunities and more diversity. I wanted to communicate with people from different backgrounds without constantly worrying about how I was being understood. So I thought that in a different country, I might finally be able to do what I wanted to do at my own pace and without always reading the room or adjusting myself to other people's expectations. It wasn't that easy in Korea, so I imagined maybe moving abroad might be a good idea for me. Yeah.
All right. And now let's talk about this love story that changed everything. And one I think is a lot of people would really love to know more about.
Yeah.
Could you share more about like how did you meet your husband? And was there a moment when you feel, yes, I know he is the one?
I met my husband through a language exchange, so I wanted to develop my English more better. So at first, so we were just friends and there was no romantic intentions at all. No, just a friend, yeah. So one night we went out for drinks with another friend, like three of us together, and I drank way too much that night. So I was completely drunk.
Mm.
And my husband, who was just my friend at that time, supported me and like took me to a nearby hotel so I could just rest safely. And he helped me just lie down on the bed and then nothing happened.
Oh,
That
wow.
moment really just stayed with me because I had only known men who crossed boundaries, who took advantage of me, but seeing someone show care and respect without expecting anything in return made me think, is this the person? Right? Yeah. Like he was really a protector.
Sounds very beautiful. Because like intercultural relationships can be very beautiful, but also quite complex, I believe. What has been the hardest part for you, and how did you work through it together?
I think obviously the hardest part of intercultural relationship is communication. Even when we use the same word, the meaning behind them can be completely different, you know? So text messages can easily lead to misunderstandings. But what helped us overcome that was constant communication. We just talk things through again and again. Now my husband understands the way I use English, not just like grammatically, but emotionally, how I use those words. So he understands my tone, my patterns, and intentions. Yeah.
Did he learn how to speak some Korean or
He is using
speaking?
Duolingo, so like he's learning some basic just expressions like I'm hungry or like I love you, and like thank you, like those kind of expression. And he know how to read all of those Korean characters.
To relocating to the US, right? Was that decision really easy or was it incredibly scary for you?
It was scary. Like US is known as a country where guns are illegal, and safety was a big concern for me. In Korea, and I think anywhere in Asia, walking to a convenience store at midnight feels normal. Like we can go there and just grab some snack. But in the US, I heard that even that could be dangerous. Even these days, my husband will say, like, if I go after 9 p.m. to the Walmart to grab something, he'll say, "Oh, you should go with me or don't go out."
See, quite early.
Yeah,
Yes.
so even
Mm.
now when I hear about shootings or
Mm.
like violent incidents happening like 3 minutes away like that, my feeling doesn't feel completely at ease. So that fear doesn't disappear overnight. Yeah, I'm still scared.
Okay. All right. When you first arrived the US, right? What surprised you the most? Because I believe you are the first in US, right? When you moved there. Yeah. What
Hmm.
surprised you the most in this whole new country?
Mm, one of the biggest surprise was how everything requires a car.
Oh, too far from one place to
Yeah,
another place.
convenience store, like pharmacies, grocery shopping, everything. I actually thought maybe can I walk? And I checked the distance, and closest convenience store was like 40 minutes walk. Yeah. So the gym, like 2 hours on foot. So
Okay, so that's why you need to have the license to drive.
yeah, actually, I had a license already, but I really didn't need to use it in my real life. I could just have a license, and like whenever I go travel somewhere, I could rent a car and move around. But I really didn't drive in the cities.
Now you drive quite frequently in US, right?
I need to drive every day.
Oh, wow. Was there a moment when you felt lost or lonely or even question whether you made the right decision after you move into the US?
When I first arrived, I didn't know anyone, and no one spoke my language. I couldn't hear anything like speaking Korean. So even though I can speak English, I felt really anxious. So it took me a long time before I could order food at a restaurant. I really didn't want to talk to them.
It's a bit like not very familiar for you, right? Because the language is totally different.
Like
Hmm.
traveling to another country and order food is okay, but like I came here to live and no one's speaking my language. That was weird.
Over time, what helped you slowly build a sense of home in a completely new country?
There were many milestones, like getting my social security number and my green card, my driver's license, or opening a bank account. But the most important moment was when I got a car.
Oh, so you
Yeah.
feel like more safe when you
Yeah.
so you can go anywhere. I see. Okay. So freedom is very important for you because you can go anywhere with a car.
Yeah, also like I could just go wherever I wanted. And also my husband finishes work earlier compared to Korean work culture. So that supported a lot in my life. Yeah.
And looking back now, what do you think are the biggest differences between like when you are living in Korea and you are living in US? Is there something you are still not quite used to it?
If I had to pick one thing, I would say food. Like
Oh,
it affects you every single day.
oh,
American food still feels very oily to me. I miss Korean food a lot. I do cook at home, but I miss how easy it was to find to good Korean food restaurant.
okay. So did you cook very often when you are living there?
No,
Oh,
I could just get the delivery food really cheap, or just I could go out and could grab one bowl of soup. I was really missing soup here, so yeah. I started to cook quite a lot, but at the
oh,
same time, like getting grocery wasn't that easy because to get a Korean grocery, I need to go like 30, 40 minutes away. But to get this American grocery, I can go just 10 minutes drive. Yeah,
so
that's
it's
all.
not very convenient to find the ingredients for Korean food.
Yes, compared to other places, it might be.
All right, let's talk about remote work, something we both experience in a similar way, but in different countries, and something I know many people are also very curious about listening to your story. Now that you are fully remote, right? What does a good day look like for you in the US?
I usually just wake up and go straight to the gym with my car. And after that, I come home, shower, make a cup of coffee, and start working. And I prepare like a light lunch at home and wrap up work in the afternoon. If I cannot focus, I do house chores or cook. Or sometimes when I really need a change of environment, I drive about 30 minutes to a co-working space in the city to work there. Yeah.
Because focus, which you mentioned just now, is really not that easy for people like us to work remotely. Any special thing you can share with us, like other than move to another space to work? Anything usually will help you to focus more on your remote
Mhm.
work.
I can say you really need to divide up space you sleep and you work. Yeah, if you don't do it, you'll just, maybe I need to take a nap. You'll think like that. So I think it's really important for you to just change your clothes to work clothes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
agree.
after you wake up, right?
Okay, a lot of people imagine remote work as flexible and carefree. What is something about this lifestyle that surprised you after experiencing it yourself?
It is like there's no clock out time. So in
Mm.
office, you can just leave the building and work ends, but with remote work, I sometimes find myself still working after the work hours. Yeah. So I need to set boundaries, I know, but it's not easy. Yeah.
So, did you like have any routine that you need to do, or anything like maybe walking after work to separate your work time and after work time? Any usual routine do you give yourself?
I can say like whenever my husband comes, that means like I need to be done of my work. So that helps a lot to be honest. And I'm really trying to set Google Calendar block. So after that, office hour, I really am not trying to look at the computer.
Mm. So totally like close it and then you go to another place to
Yeah. Or
okay.
like cooking or just talk with my husband and we can watch a TV show or something else.
Do you feel more free working remotely or more responsible and why?
I would say half and half because no one is watching you and easy to become lazy. So you
Mm.
have to be very responsible with yourself.
Oh, yeah.
At the same time, I have the freedom to work anywhere. So like we attended conference in other cities or other countries, I could stay there for a few days and work remotely and explore the city in my free time. So that flexibility is something I really value.
Do you plan to do something like this in the future?
Occasionally, but like I cannot say that much often, but when I was living in Korea, I used to go to another country and work there just for that. Even if it's not a conference, like a Thailand.
And what is one thing you have learned about yourself through working remotely in a completely new environment? Like previously, mostly in Korea, now you are mostly in US.
When I worked remotely in Korea, it felt more like working from home. But living in the US, I could live much more active life, I can say, because I need to move a lot. But I believe that no matter where you are, it depends on how you choose to live. Location helps, but
Yeah.
mindset matters more because in Korea, it'll be easier for me to go to another place, but I really didn't move. But in US, I really tried to just change my mindset.
So mindset is very important thing when you are working remotely. Okay. Because you have chosen a life path that was quite different from many of your peers around you, what do you think is the biggest misconception people have about someone who leaves their home country for love and starts a new life abroad?
People often underestimate how difficult actually it is. Like it can be very hard, but it also becomes much easier depending on how your partner supports you. So you don't need to be fearless, but choosing the right partner truly matters. Like
Mm.
at the end of the day, it's about mindset. So don't be afraid of failure either.
So what's your message? Just try and error, then you will
Yeah,
find the
trial and error, but it's lucky that you have a better partner. So like he can support you on like when I went to a hospital here for the first time, I was so frustrated that like I couldn't talk clearly to the person that I met in the hospital. So I called my husband and like, can you speak on behalf of me about this? I need this.
so he helped you a lot.
He's helping me
Everything.
a lot. Yeah.
Compared to your peers or we can say childhood friends, right? You have chosen a very unconventional life path. Have you ever felt like regret or felt like you lost something along the way?
At first, living
Mm.
differently from others made me anxious because in Asian society, there's, a strong belief that you should follow a similar path as everyone else. But now I see it positively because by choosing an unconventional life, I was able to design my own life freely. For me, I think it was a good decision. Yeah.
Okay. Was there ever a moment that made you think that, oh, I'm so proud of myself for choosing this path?
So I believe finding what fits you is the most important thing because I don't like living by strict rules. So this path gave me a chance to live in a way that feels true to who I am. So
Mm.
while others were settling down and raising children, I was able to traveling the world and working remotely and expanding my perspective. So also I met many people who lived like me and that made me feel less alone. And I felt like I'm proud of myself that like I could expand my horizon this much.
So maybe the thing make you feel more comfortable because maybe you go to US and you meet nice people there, so you feel more like at home and at ease, right?
I wish, but like there's some friend I made really close, and those are the friend I make. I think they make me feel like I'm at home, but I can say I can just stop just comparing myself with other people because I don't need to here. Yeah, I really like that part.
You can just be yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. As we start to wrap up, right, I would love to ask you something more reflective. What does freedom mean to you?
Freedom to me means being able to act according to my own thought, not by other thoughts. Doing what I want and actually executing it. So it means living by my own rules, not the rules society sets for me.
Do you feel like your life now has this kind of like freedom you want? And could you also share with us in what ways?
Yes, I do. I'm not tied to an office and I built my own daily routine. That alone gives me a strong sense of freedom.
Okay. And lastly, is there like a dream, a desire, or perhaps we can say future goal that is quietly calling you right now?
Right now, as you know, I'm organizing an SEO conference, like marketing conference in Korea, and I really hope to successfully host it next September. It's not just Korean or Asian conference, it's a global conference. So like I'm looking forward to that. And living in the US also gave me the opportunity to learn more about the American market. So, in the long term, I want to build my personal brand and also grow through video and content creations like you. Yeah.
Wow, sounds really inspiring, Mika. That's great to hear that. I think that your story is really inspiring and encourage us to live the way we want to live. That's it, Mika. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing your story so honestly with us today. And your journey reminds us that choosing a different life path doesn't always come with certainty, but it comes with growth, courage, and a deeper understanding of ourselves. If there's one thing I hope listeners to take away from this conversation, it is that starting over doesn't mean you failed. Sometimes it simply means you listen to your heart. Thank you, Mika, for trusting me and this space with your story. And to everyone listening, if you are standing at a crossroads right now, wondering whether it is okay to choose something different, I hope today's conversation gave you a little clarity or at least the courage to listen to your own quiet voice. That's it for today's episode of Dream Talks. And I'm Violet. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye bye.